Hi everyone, my name is Bobbi Murrell and I'm here to talk about my technology project. I was going to implement Google Hangouts for collaboration for the teachers so that we could tackle issues with technology more effectively. In the project, we needed to identify a problem. So the problem that I identified was the first grade teachers and the technologies that we had available, which was tablets. We were having some struggles with it. I recognized that we needed more training and that when we weren't in training, we also needed to work collaboratively together so that we could just solve problems between us. For the outcome of the project, I wanted to have the technology integration specialist provide us with semi-annual training, so just twice a year for very short periods of time to give us some tips on what was the newest and best technology. And also, so that we could collaborate throughout the year, I thought that we could be taught how to work Google Hangouts. I chose Google Hangouts because the research showed that it was relatively easy to use. And I also went on it myself and saw that it was easy to use. So I thought it'd be a great method for collaboration. I thought that with the technology integration specialist giving us a little class on Google Hangouts, that it would appeal to all different types of learners. So she would be demonstrating it on our smartboard and they could see everything. And she could be orally speaking about it. So the auditory learners would be able to ask questions and see and hear the presentation. Verbal learners could be handed a worksheet that would show them exactly what she was talking about so that they could take it away with them and they can share what they've learned with a partner. And physical and kinesthetic learners, we would all have computers, so we would all be doing everything as she is doing it. So we would have the hands-on access that we needed. This represents the worksheet that everyone would be given. So they would have step-by-step instructions to take home with them so that they could access Google Hangouts again quite easily. The next slide you see will be my video recording of how to use Google Hangouts. Hello, everyone. I hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving. I am doing the implementation phase of our project. So I decided that we had issues at our school with technology in the first grade. We were given a lot of tablets, and a few years ago, before we got the tablets, we had to have training on them. But the training, it was very intensive, and it was for about 2 hours once a month. And we would be inundated with websites and places, to go and things to do, and we really weren't given any time to practice. So, and there were no handouts. So every time we would go, we might get one thing or think, okay, I want to look at one site, but it wasn't as helpful as maybe just spreading that out a little bit would have been. So one thing we wanted to do was to have our technology integration specialists talk to us twice a year and maybe just 2 or 3 websites given in an hour after school to kind of introduce us to anything new that's going on in the technology field and something that would be helpful for us. But in the meantime, we still would probably struggle with technology in some areas, and we can't always get hold of the integration specialist because she has a lot of employees that she has to deal with. So we thought that if she could show us how to collaborate with each other, maybe in a visual way, that it would be helpful to us, and so we could just talk to each other over the computer. So one way we decided was to go on to Google Hangouts. And Google Hangouts, research has shown it's pretty easy to use, and I tried it, so I think it is somewhat easy to use. So the first thing you're going to do is you're just going to go to your Google Drive, and here's my Google Drive, here's my handsome sons, and you're going to click your Windows, and you're just going to scroll down until you hit Hangouts. Okay, and then you've got the Hangouts, and you're just going to add new conversation. Okay, and if you just want to talk to one person, you can type in whoever that is. Let's see, I'll type in Denny, and there she is, and I can click her, and I can just start a new conversation with her over here. Okay, and then I can X that out. That's actually a really good thing. If I know she has done something and I can just ask her to help me, and she can even show me, on her video screen exactly how to get it done. So it's very helpful. If I wanted to, you could also use that actually with students, so they could show their parents something that they were doing, or if they were home and they wanted to record something that they were doing and show it to the class, they could show me. A lot of times we live in a rural area, so we have kids that do farm shows in the summer, and they like to show us what they're doing. So they could send us a video that way. So also, if you wanted to do a group, you just click the plus button, and then you're going to go down here and create a new group. And let's see, I can create the group. Let's see, I'm going to add, I'll add Jenny Denny. I'll add Kirsten Wagner. Okay, and I'll add Skeeter Wagner. We have 2 Wagners teaching in first grade. Love them both. And let's see, I'll add Jennifer Carey. Okay, and then there's my group. And then I can just click the check mark, and it sends out an invitation to them over here. I can type, or sorry, it sends out a message to them over here. And at the bottom, I can just type in, hello, I am working on a project for school. See you tomorrow. Okay, enter, and then that comes up, okay, and they can all see that. And it's a real easy way to, converse or show them. You can do a video call, you can do a phone message, or you can just send a message. And so it's just a real easy way to collaborate. If there's someone in another school, it's just a really easy way to get hold of them, when they're available, maybe just for a few minutes after school instead of having to meet all the time. So that is how I decided to help solve our problem of collaboration, and I hope that it's helpful to you too. Thank you. The assessment should be somewhat easy with this. The formative assessment would just be the initial setting up of a Hangout group. So each person would have to set up a group and ask the facilitator to join. And it'd be kind of redundant because we'd all have the same group, but the facilitator would need to see that everyone knew how to set it up. And then after that, she would do a summative assessment by looking at the group after a period of a few months, maybe 6 months, and make sure that monthly we had been talking to each other. So as long as we were doing that and we had done that for the first 6 months, then that would no longer be a requirement, but at least she would know then that we knew how to access it and we're utilizing it as a collaboration tool. Thank you so much for listening to my presentation, and I hope that you use Google Hangouts in the future.